Coming up on Cronkite News, Suns owner Robert Sarver is suspended by the NBA. We'll have details on the allegations and the punishment.
Plus, the city of Glendale looks at a new proposal that would criminalize panhandling.
And the amount of unsheltered homeless people have increased since 2020. Dozens of organizations are working to help this population, but it's impacting local residents and business owners in Phoenix.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Mackenzie Hamill.
And I'm Carolina Hassett. Thank you for joining us. After a 10-month investigation, the NBA handed down disciplinary action against Suns owner Robert Sarver today. The action includes a suspension and a hefty fine. Cronkite News reporter Edison LaCour joins us from the newsroom with the details.
Robert Sarver has been suspended from the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury organizations for 1 year and fined the league maximum $10 million. According to a league report, the NBA found that Sarver, quote, engaged in conduct that clearly violated common workplace standards, as reflected in team and league policies. Sarver was found to have repeated the N-word on at least 5 occasions, one of which was during the recruitment of then free agent Steve Nash in 2004. Sarver was also found to have engaged in unequal treatment towards female employees, including a pregnant employee who was told she would no longer be coordinating an event because she should be at home with her baby. Finally, Sarver was found to have led a toxic workplace, engaging in demeaning and harsh treatment of his employees, yelling and cursing at them on numerous occasions. Sarver also released a statement saying that while he does not agree with, quote, some of the particulars of the NBA's report, but he takes full responsibility for his actions and accepts the consequences of the NBA's decision. The Suns, in their statement, said that they have strengthened their culture and are focused on creating a workplace based on inclusion and where everyone feels valued. The NBA says it is committing to donating the $10 million fine from Sarver to addressing race and gender-based issues in and outside of the workplace. From the studio, Edison LaCour, Cronkite News.
The city of Glendale is trying to change how panhandlers operate in the city. Yuri Hahn tells us about a new proposal before the Glendale City Council tonight.
The proposal would make it a crime for a person to stand in the median or to ask for money while standing on public streets. The city of Glendale said via email it's been seeing an increase in panhandling since the pandemic, and they want to make city streets and sidewalks safer. The new proposal makes it a crime to ask for money on public transportation, at bus stops, within 15 feet of a bank, and on private property. If passed, violators could receive a fine on first offense, and after that, they could receive probation, community service, or jail time. Adam Gregory says he's experiencing homelessness and questions how the ordinance will be enforced.
I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous. I don't think they'd be able to figure out how to implement that. People just walk up and they hand me money. So if I need something, God always provides it.
The plan is in its early stages, so there could be changes. The council is expected to hear the proposal tonight during their city council meeting. In Phoenix, Yuri Hahn, Cronkite News.
Glendale isn't the only city experiencing challenges with unsheltered individuals. According to the most recent point-in-time count, there are more than 9,000 people in Maricopa County experiencing homelessness, and those numbers are up 22% from 2 years ago. I looked more into how the growing population is impacting local residents and business owners in a specific area of Phoenix. On a recent Tuesday, dozens of organizations worked to help the unsheltered in downtown Phoenix.
The reason why I like this and it's good for the community, because it helps people, not push them away.
On this day, over 200 clients were helped with everything from medical to housing and employment. But for some people who live and work in this area, the problem is still overwhelming.
Something has to change.
According to the most recent survey, the unsheltered homelessness count increased 34% since 2020. And with the growing numbers comes concerns from businesses and residents, especially in the area near 7th and 15th Avenue between Van Buren and Grant Streets, who have filed a lawsuit against the city of Phoenix.
We've got a massive problem. Where do we draw the line?
Carl Freund, a business owner involved in the lawsuit, says he has seen an increase in all sorts of problems near his property and says he wants more law enforcement when it comes to mental health services and drug usage.
We're just throwing money at the problem. I don't think that is a solution.
The plaintiffs involved are not asking for compensation or to overturn a court decision, which prevents criminalizing unsheltered individuals sleeping in public.
The only law that can't be enforced right now because of the Ninth Circuit decision is you can't send them to jail for sleeping at night. All the other laws, drug use, violence, tent fires, public urination and defecation, the environmental laws, all of those can still be enforced.
Human Services Campus is not involved in the lawsuit, but has been working towards combating homelessness long before it was filed. They recently restarted Project Connect events.
That's really what it's all about, is ending homelessness today, whether it's for one person or systemically at large.
And while plaintiffs feel like these events are necessary for unsheltered individuals, they are urging the city of Phoenix to tackle the overall problem. The city of Phoenix says it developed a strategies to address homelessness program. And in the last fiscal year, it dedicated $50 million to shelters, mental health services, and increased affordable housing. According to lawyers, the city's response to the lawsuit is due this upcoming Friday.
The first known death caused by monkeypox in the U.S. has just been confirmed, and a second death is under review. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say a person in Los Angeles County died after being hospitalized from the virus. Officials say that patient did have a weakened immune system. And in Texas, another person with monkeypox died last month, but health officials have not confirmed if the virus was to blame. While it is rare to die from monkeypox, the CDC has said 22,000 people have either confirmed or probable cases in the U.S.
Department's interim police chief Michael Sullivan began his first day on the job yesterday. He takes place of retired Phoenix Police Chief Jerry Williams. Sullivan is joining the department after serving as Deputy Commissioner of the Compliance Bureau for the Baltimore Police Department. Sullivan is expected to serve as interim chief for up to 2 years as city officials search for a permanent replacement. State officials have until Friday to file an opposing motion against the federal judge who blocked Arizona's new law on recording police. That law was supposed to go into effect in 11 days, making it illegal for journalists or regular people to record within 8 feet of police after they tell you to stop. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey signed the bill into law back in July, but the ACLU and multiple news organizations filed a lawsuit over, quote, blatant constitutional issues. They argue it's an infringement on First Amendment rights to record public activities of law enforcement. Supporters of the law say the legislation was needed to limit people who deliberately got in the way of police.
The Arizona Department of Transportation is hosting in-person hearings this week. ADOT will host 2 hearings centered around their recommendation to improve 26 miles of I-10. The length of this improvement would stretch from Phoenix to Casa Grande. The first hearing is going on right now, and the second is happening on Thursday at 5:30. If you're unable to attend in-person hearings, ADOT will have a virtual one next Tuesday at 5:30. Due to negotiations for massive cuts in Colorado River water deliveries, Yuma farmers worry how much water they'll be forced to cut. The Colorado River provides water for all the Yuma area irrigation districts, and their crops depend entirely on it. The agricultural districts in Yuma alone provide 90% of winter vegetables sold in the U.S. To combat the water cuts, Yuma farmers hope to start investing in more water-efficient farming tools and gradually switch to less thirsty crops. These water cuts could begin as soon as next year.
Now on Camelback, set to reopen. Coming up after the break, we'll explain what hikers can expect from the renovation.
Also ahead, one Arizona city was hammered by the remnants of Hurricane K. We'll show you the flooding.
how ladies can be.
I'ma do what I do.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
The flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work.
It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
Exciting news for hikers today. The popular hiking trail Cholla Trail will reopen to the public on September 30th. The trail was closed November of last year due to construction and a trailhead realignment. Instead of the trailhead being at Cholla Lane, it will now be on Invergordon Road. This move will offer hikers amenities such as drinking fountains, restrooms, and bike racks. The project also made the trail safer and more accessible for first responders.
Residents in Kingman are cleaning up after a huge storm brought rain and flooding. Parts of Kingman received 4 to 5 inches of rain per hour yesterday, causing roads to flood. Drivers and several cars had to be rescued from the swift water. The National Weather Service is attributing all of this rain to Hurricane K. The Weather Service called it a life-threatening and particularly dangerous situation. Things should be drying out now across the state. Lindsay Selzer has the details from the Cronkite News Weather Center.
Tonight. Now let's get into our evening forecast. At 6 p.m. around dinner time, it will be 92 degrees and still sunny. And as the sun goes down, we will actually end up hitting the higher 80s and even get down to 86 degrees at 10 p.m. Moving on to our futurecast in the northern side of the state. Starting this afternoon, there were light storms and rain in Flagstaff, and moving around to the eastern side of the state in Window Rock, going all the way down south to Sierra Vista. We have light storms in the area, but this will all clear up and there will be very light to no cloud coverage up until Thursday afternoon. Moving on into our high temperatures in the state. Our highest temperature in the state is going to be 97 degrees in Gila Bend on the western side of the state in Lake Havasu City. Our lowest temperature is going to be 68 degrees up in Flagstaff, and that is going to be our coolest temperature, and we are finally hitting those nice fall temperatures. Moving on to our 8-day forecast, we have a little bit of cloud coverage throughout the state going on. And moving on throughout the week, we will hit 101 degrees. But other than that, it is mostly lower temperatures, and we are finally getting to that time of year where we can enjoy being outside. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Lindsay Selzer.
I'm Joe Sfurtado. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report, including recent unit advancements for minor league baseball players. We'll tell you how Major Leaguers Baseball is responding.
Okay, let's go right up in here and start having some fun.
Such a thrill to be able to do this.
Recreation is the gateway drug to conservation.
How do you create that perfect straight edge?
You can do anything.
History is today. Chasing the American dream.
Experience something personal.
A place of imagination.
I can go anywhere I want to go.
You guys are just gonna love it.
An entertainment experience unlike anything.
There's something for everyone with Passport on the PBS Video app.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Evil can find its roots so easily in an English village.
The landscape of criminal investigation. Murder, almost certainly.
Modern policing methods.
We endeavor to do our best.
We're working hard to solve this case.
And to make sure justice gets done.
It's a new adventure.
And the rest, as they say, is mystery.
I can hardly wait.
art was one of the powers that made life life. I think we all believed that.
This is a real life story of a real live person.
This was my only connection to my culture.
Fight the power.
Our stories deserve to be heard.
You're passionate and you respect your heritage. That is a perfect recipe.
Now is the time for the Reformation. Now is the time to rebuild the nation.
That's amazing.
You're making me cry.
Some girls can go out there and just steal a spotlight.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for.
Everyone has something to contribute to humanity. The arts are the thing that does that.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Welcome back to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Joseph Furtado. In an unprecedented move, Major League Baseball is voluntarily recognizing minor league players' efforts to unionize with the MLB Players Association. The move comes after 50% of minor leaguers signed authorization cards in support of unionizing. Cronkite News reporter Nikki Pica has more on how the latest labor movement could reshape baseball.
Fresh off a labor dispute that shut down Major League Baseball for 99 days last spring, the MLB Players Association is taking steps to protect the future. Executive Director of the MLBPA, Tony Clark, is now helping the long-neglected minor league players get union representation.
The minor league players are the backbone of our industry. It is important that they have a voice at the table. It is important that they have an opportunity to voice their concerns about fair pay and working conditions.
A group called Advocates for Minor Leaguers took it upon themselves to bring awareness to minor league working conditions by sharing stories of players' experiences. Roman Collins gave up baseball after 3 years in the minor leagues.
Definitely the pay was a driving factor in me retiring when I did, just because it's not a sustainable lifestyle. I wouldn't have been able to play baseball and pay rent and basically live a normal life if I kept playing, not knowing whether or not I was going to the big leagues.
Pay isn't the only struggle. Many minor leaguers have to share 2 to 3 bedroom apartments with 7 other guys. In 2021, Major League Baseball voted to raise minor league minimum wage, to have teams provide better housing, and to give players more breaks, such as Mondays off. But those who cover the game feel if even that isn't enough.
And I give credit to the minor league players themselves, because a lot of them were brave enough to speak out about how they were treated unfairly and how things were not right and how things needed to change. And that's a big risk that you take because you're a minor league player, you don't have a lot of leverage, and you're speaking out basically against your own employer.
And minor league players are getting support from those who were in their shoes not too long ago. Players like Alec Thomas, who was on the fast track to the bigs and made his major league debut with the Diamondbacks this season.
I feel like it's great, man. Before my time, I think the minor leagues was, struggling, to have decent, pay or decent, environments. I didn't really have that big of a, problem because, everything was starting to be better for, minor league players. So I think we're headed in the right direction.
There are still a lot of details to work out, but minor league players have made it clear that they want union representation. And with the recognition of Major League Baseball, the path forward might be a little more smooth. In Phoenix, Nikki Pica, Cronkite News.
The ASU men's golf team heads to Chicago this week for the Fighting Illini Invitational. However, they'll be missing an integral piece of their squad, and he's gone for good. David Puig announced on his Instagram that he is turning professional and joining the Live Golf Invitational Series. The Sun Devil senior joins fellow Spaniard Eugenio Chacarra as the second player to join Live from college. Puig had already played in 2 Live tournaments as an amateur, but couldn't accept any earnings. Coincidentally, he will also be playing in Chicago this weekend for a Live tournament and a chance to win $4 million as a pro. And ASU football suffered their first loss of the season on Saturday, losing to Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Entering their final non-conference tilt this weekend, the Sun Devils are looking to improve on their 1-1 record and make some adjustments from last weekend. Herm Edwards' squad was back at practice this morning as they prepare to host Eastern Michigan. In their loss to OSU, the Sun Devils scored just 3 points in the first half and were only able to convert 2 of their 13 third down opportunities. It's a point of emphasis at practice this week as Edwards wants to see improvement entering Saturday night's matchup.
This week, we can't struggle on third downs. We just can't. We gotta convert them, because then you get a first down. Then you get 3 more plays, you know, and then you keep your defense off the field and you can possess the ball. You have more opportunities. So that's something we've struggled with, you know, that and scoring early, right? I mean, that's 2 factors in games.
This morning in Scottsdale, the Fiesta Bowl announced the 2022 Parade Grand Marshal. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the parade that will take place on Saturday, December 17th. Fiesta Bowl Chair Randy Norton and other members of the Yellow Jacket Committee introduced Suns broadcaster Al McCoy as this year's Grand Marshal. McCoy has been the radio announcer for the Suns since 1972. He is the Suns Ring of Honor and the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame. This will be his first time serving as the Grand Marshal, and McCoy is excited to have this honor.
It's tremendous, and having been a part of the Fiesta Bowl early and have followed the success of the Fiesta Bowl, it's kind of, I guess we could say, the icing on the cake now to be the Grand Marshal of the parade. It's going to be fantastic.
And the #1 high school safety in the state, Genesis Smith, just committed to the University of Arizona. Reporter Liam Barrett is in Chandler with one of the newest Wildcats.
Genesis Smith is a top defensive player in Arizona. The Hamilton safety is ranked 17th in the state for the class of 2023 by 24/7 Sports. Now he's the first in-state player to commit to the University of Arizona this year. Smith says the Wildcats stood out from the rest.
All the coaches, they bring a family feel to you. They recruit me hard. They really wanted me. They made a separation from all the other coaches and colleges.
The Arizona resident is excited to stay at home to play Division I football, and so is his family.
They're going to try to come to every home game and probably away games as well, but I know they're happy about that.
Smith is more than just a football player. The two-sport athlete placed 7th in state last year in the long jump. His explosiveness is just one of his tools that makes him such an elite defender. And it's more than just the athleticism that translates to both sports. Hamilton head coach Mike Zadebski says playing 2 sports makes Smith mentally stronger.
It's so important for kids to be competitive and play multiple sports. You know, you develop your competitiveness because you're competing all the time.
Smith's hard-working mentality pushes him to be great, and it rubs off on his teammates.
Definitely pushes everybody. I mean, that's his goal, is to make everyone around him better. I mean, he succeeds at that.
The 3-star recruit looks to anchor the defense in his senior year at Hamilton before he takes off for Tucson. In Chandler, Liam Barrett, Cronkite News.
Well, that's going to do it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Joe Furtado. We'll see you next time. Back to you, Carolina.
The latest recipient of the Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism has just been announced. See who will be coming to Phoenix in February to accept that honor.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
Welcome.
How utterly charming.
Are you ready to get it going?
How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you?
You can't be afraid to show them what you've got, or what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Oh.
You look like you need rescuing.
Don't we all?
What is it that you want?
I just want to let go.
I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
The recipient of the 39th Annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism was just announced. We'll let her reveal the surprise.
Hey, Gail King here. Guess where I get to go? And I'm very excited because I think this is even better than Disney World, and I love me some Disney World. I'm heading to Arizona, where specifically Phoenix, where Arizona State University. Why? Because I'm getting the Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism.
Every year, a leading figure in journalism is chosen for this prestigious award. They're joined by students and media professionals alike in downtown Phoenix for a celebratory luncheon. King is being honored for her work spanning decades and her experience in TV, radio, and magazine. King's luncheon will take place in February. She succeeds Al Roker, who received the honor this past year.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.